faith in yourself and in the spirit of life itself. And if you lose that or let it waver, then it makes even catastrophe worse. So consider it a moral obligation to have faith in be fruitful and multiply. It's a pro-existence stance. And if you're opposed to your own existence, then who can save you?
You can also create this, like you were talking about, this little microcosm in your home for your kids to grow up in. And then you can help them become extremely competent. Like, this guy sounds competent. Yep. He's in law school. He's obviously gone through a number of jobs and become more and more successful and gotten over some personal stuff. Like, so he seems competent. But if you raise your kids right and you build confidence in themselves, then they can go out into this chaotic world.
And find opportunity.
And find opportunity too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and there's not that much difference between a problem and an opportunity. Like, a world full of problems is, well, you could solve those problems. And if there's a problem and you solve it, then you have an opportunity. And so a world where everything was taken care of would actually be a world without opportunity. So don't underestimate the utility of your children's competence and your role in encouraging that development.
I like that.
And good luck. And congratulations also. Seriously. I want to tell you all why my team and I founded Peterson Academy. First, it's because the technology is there. It's now possible to identify and gather the greatest lecturers and thinkers alive today, and to put them in a position where they can offer their best to all who are interested. Second, advanced education is far more expensive than necessary. Students who complete a 4-year degree risk crippling themselves with debt just when they're starting their lives and their careers. Third reason, because of ideological and institutional corruption. I watched that process painfully unfold for 40 years at McGill, at Harvard, at the University of Toronto. What's the alternative at Peterson Academy? Well, we have 40 stellar professors on board. We have 34 8-hour courses taught at the highest level of quality and with maximum efficiency. And there's much more to come. Find your purpose, sharpen your wit, and bring to bear on your own life the knowledge being offered to you by the best in the world. Go to petersonacademy.com for the details. Enroll and change your life.
(911). What's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a missing person.
Who's the person in question?
Me. Let's play a game. I'll hide, you seek. If successful, I'll reward you generously.
Unconfirmed sightings of the GX Man have been reported all over the world.
The GX Man just passed me in the street in Malibu.
Yeah, a man in a red suit just bought like all the oil in our store.
I went on a blind date with the GX Man. He gave me a fake number.
Authorities advise downloading Opera GX to find him.
My VPN means I can be in multiple places at once. I can mod my look at the click of a button. Am I the dude standing next to you? The woman walking her dog? Maybe.
We've been a traditional family for 50 years, enjoying the usual family gatherings, birthdays, Christmas, etc. We have 2 children, 6 grandchildren. Our oldest son has been with his partner for 20 years, and they have 4 children, ages 9 to 17. In the last 2 years, our son helped a woman who was in an abusive relationship, and she and her son became part of their family. It became apparent last year they are now in a polyamorous relationship. Also, our 17-year-old granddaughter is now a grandson. My husband and I can work around the latter, but cannot bring ourselves to accept the polyamorous relationship as we have not accepted it completely. We are now estranged from them. They have taken a different road, and we can't seem to find a middle road to gather with them. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you.
Well, the first thing I would say is that might be useful for everybody listening is that you deviate from the norm, much less the ideal, at your extreme peril. When people came to see me who were unhappy and unfulfilled, and often didn't know what to do with their lives. One of the guidelines that I used to help me and them navigate was, you should do what everyone else does, unless you have a really good reason not to. Now, polyamory. Well, first of all, what the hell is that? Just because some dim-witted leftist hedonists came up with a new word doesn't mean that anything like that exists. It's already very, very difficult to negotiate a relationship over the long run. Let's call it a marriage. If you stay religiously within the normative parameters. Now you want to extend that beyond that. That's your theory. You think you're going to be sophisticated enough to negotiate the jealousies, the split of time, the perilous risks of intimacy with more than one person. And you think you're going to do that well, and that everyone else around you is going to know how to deal with that. Well, every single bit of that's delusional. Monogamy is a universal norm and ideal. Not because people don't have proclivities in other directions, but because the human race hasn't found a solution that's stable, all things considered, balancing the needs of children, men and women, and society. There's no solution to that problem other than monogamy. And I would also say, you're doing something that's bad by entering into a polyamorous relationship. You're destabilizing the social norm. And for what? For your own benefit? For your own hypothetical benefit? First of all, that's a little on the selfish side, I might say. The guardrails are there for a reason. And you hope that your parents can somehow adapt to that. And that what? They're supposed to just say it's all right? That's what they're going to do if they love you. They're not going to raise any objections to your strange experiment. And it's not like they knew the rules. Like, what are the rules? Oh, my son has 2 wives. Well, no one knows what to do with that. And so what that generally means, if you're exceptional, is that people aren't going to have much to do with you because you're too damn much trouble.
Well, what would you do if I had been in that situation? Like, is a bit of it dependent on how old they are? Like, if these are people who are, I don't know, mid-20s maybe, and they're like, I'm going to give this a shot. I can do it. I'm one of those people that can navigate basically an open relationship. Like, what if I had it in my head that that was me? Would it be like...
I think I would have fought with you until I knew what the hell was going on. Like, that's my general proclivity. And the woman who asked this question, there's not a lot of detail in the question, so I don't know exactly why they're alienated. And it's a terrible thing to be alienated from your children.
Maybe they just said, we don't agree with your lifestyle and we need a boundary here. But should the boundary be as far as we don't talk to you anymore? Or should it be like, we love you, we don't think this lifestyle is good for you or the people around you or potential children you're going to have?
Michaela, my suspicions are, look, if you stay within the boundaries of the norm, everybody knows what to do. There's a script. You know how to have Thanksgiving dinner together. You know how to have Christmas together. You know how to treat your wife, your son's wife's children. Everyone knows that. All right, now, if you throw a left curve into that, well, what are the rules exactly? And the answer to that is you have to negotiate them from scratch for everything. Well, people are terrible at negotiating. And so the probability that they're going to come up with a solution for that inside a family is extremely low. You're basically negotiating a whole new social contract. And so part of the advantage to marriage is like a serious reduction in complexity. You know, you have someone that you can rely on for the long run. You can make practical and contractual relationships with them. You can chart your course. You don't have to manage the cascading consequences of multiple relationships. And what, all of a sudden they're not going to have sexual jealousy. That's just going to disappear somehow. And everyone's going to love each other equally. That's going to happen. That never happens. That's never happened anywhere, ever, even once, to anyone. It's preposterous. Now, what would I do if that situation arose with my own kids? I don't know if I'd be the one in our family that would put down the boundary. That might be your mom, you know, because she's probably more capable than me of saying, I'm not going to stand by you while you walk off the edge of a cliff. Now, I would like to think that I would fight it out because I don't want to have anything between us. And if you were doing something seriously ill-advised, I'd like to hope that the warning signs of that would have been there early, and that we would have worked on it before it became an unmanageable mess. I think for the woman who asked this question, I think probably the problem is that the issue is too vague. You see, now these people in this situation, they have to think through everything. Okay, how many times a year are we going to meet? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times? How long are we going to meet? Who's going to come? What are the rules for engagement? How should we treat everyone? Like, I'd probably counsel them to try one dinner together and have a pretty decent discussion about one dinner beforehand. Who's coming? How long is it going to last? How are we going to treat each other? What would I recommend? Let's be polite like we would be to strangers that we were trying not to offend, right? Because nobody knows what the hell's going on. Everything at the table is anomalous and strange. And so maybe you meet at a restaurant, because that's kind of neutral territory. Yeah. And maybe you meet for an hour, or maybe half an hour, or 45 minutes, something like that. And you hope that it doesn't go horribly. And then if that worked, well, if that didn't work, then scale down. If it did work, well, then maybe you could try something a little bit more personal. You know, the problem is that something terribly anomalous has occurred and no one knows what to do about it.
Without knowing family dynamics, like, is the person who's in a polyamorous relationship, why are they doing it? Is it because of the person they're with that's encouraging them? Is it something they want? Or is it to see how their parents will react? You know, like, it could be one of those factors, because maybe they want boundaries, or maybe they want, hey, you know what? We don't agree with this at all, but we love you anyway and have faith in you figuring it out. Maybe that's the direction they need to go too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I was in the situation where I was like, you know what? Polyamory is what I believe in. It's what I want. I can handle it. It's better for me, which